So backing into position now, Dick LaHaye, who will work from the far lane as he gets set to go against Frank Bradley.
Not only is there maybe a slick spot out there, Don Garlits, in that far lane, but there's a little bit of a bump that can kind of kick the tires loose. Dick LaHaye will be very careful of that, and his Michigan-based outfield expert. And his crew chief, well known in her own right, is Kim LaHaye. They qualified in the number 5 spot and dispatched John Kerry in round number 1. Frank Bradley earned $3,500 in bonus money for his number 1 qualifying position, and he did that with a lot of help from Kim Connerty, the crew chief on his car from California.
Well, Steve, you mentioned the bump in that far lane. You can bet that Kim and Dick LaHaye have made adjustments to that car on that clutch sequence to compensate for that bad spot in the track.
A tremendous start by Dick LaHaye. Bradley loses traction, but charges on the other end. Not enough. LaHaye wins at 5:13 to a losing 5:7.
Now, in competition and pro stock coming up, we're taking a look at Darrell Alderman, who will be alongside Ricky Smith. Alderman has the lane choice.
Ricky Smith of the beautiful blue Trans Am, the red and white Dodge Daytona that all the pro stock fans are talking about, driven by Darrell Alderman. Dodge had not won a pro stock major event in many, many years until Alderman pulled off that feat earlier this year at the Gator Nationals down in Florida. Ricky Smith, the 500 cubic inch Chevrolet. Darrell Alderman, the 500 cubic inch Dodge. But as we've explained in past telecasts, it's not one of the Hemis like you might expect. It's a great big wedge motor.
Even though lane choice is not as critical on pro stock, notice that Darrell Alderman has chosen the near lane, Steve.
Yes, he has against this man, Ricky Smith. King, North Carolina, has been qualifying in the top half of the field consistently. He's up against Darrell Alderman, who already has had a tough day. He lined up with the Oldsmobile of Warren Johnson in round number 1, but put the favorite away. Darrell Alderman in the near lane has been a killer driver all year long. In fact, part of his success in winning that pro stock title at the Gator National was pole-shotting driver after driver, including Bob Glidden. Ricky Smith, well, he's been in the pro stock wars for a long, long time, and they don't come any stronger than the cars out of the South. Smith in the blue Chevrolet. The red and white Dodge is Alderman. They're staged and ready. Oh, and asleep at the switch, Darrell Alderman. Unbelievable the advantage Ricky Smith had off of the starting line. And he parlays a whole shot in a 7.487. Next pair fired and ready. The Pontiac of Butch Leal versus the Chevrolet Beretta of Kenny Koretsky. And Butch Leal, the red, white, and blue car, has that big reputation off the starting line, Don Garlits. But Kenny Koretsky, in only, well, his second year of pro stock racing, has been cutting almost science fiction lights. A lot of the competition says, well, he's just gambling and getting lucky.
Well, sometimes they do that, but I don't know. He's been really good, and of course, you know, Butch Leal is good too. He's one of the best in the business. In fact, he's won many races strictly at the starting line.
Formerly known as the California Flash, now out of Blacklick, Ohio, Butch Leal in the Pontiac. Kenny Koretsky is the operator of a truck line in Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania, but what a pro stock team he has put together. Not only this car, this Beretta with himself at the controls, but Frank Iaconia, who we'll be seeing later on as well. Quite a threat.
Staging very carefully. This is going to be important. This start could be decided right here on the starting line.
And the start is probably the most stressful part on a pro stock car as far as the drive line is concerned. Imagine suddenly when you slide your foot off of that clutch at 8,000 RPM, you unleash about 1,000 horsepower to the drive train of these automobiles. 2 4-barrel carburetors, gasoline, and Koretsky nails Butch Leal off the starting line.
He was asleep, Steve.
Oh, Koretsky with an almost perfect light. His crew just loves it. 7:45. Leal, something bad is happening to our good drivers.
So we're ready for our next pairing. We're looking at Don Beverly in the blue and white car on the near side. He goes against Bruce Allen. Allen, of course, has been one of the mainstays here in the pro stock ranks. He comes in second in championship points in his Chevy Beretta. And he goes against a man who drives an Oldsmobile Cutlass, who already has defeated Larry Morgan in round number 1.
And when you face off with Don Beverly, the blue and white Oldsmobile, you never know what to expect. He was number 1 qualifier at the Winter Nationals to begin the season, and then he struggles. A very uneven performer. But he's off the mark with Bruce Allen. Allen's car moved a little bit when he hit that bump in the far lane. But it's all Chevrolet and Bruce Allen. A 740 to a very game 743, 185 miles per hour for the winner. Bruce Allen, he advances, and here's the king of pro stock.
Bob Glidden, of course, the 9-time Winston champion, giving us a good inside look right now in his Ford Probe. He definitely is having another sensational season as he gets set to go against Frank Iaconio.
Frank has been runner-up twice in his career here at St. Air, and he's been runner-up twice this year in Pro Stock. Can't seem to find the winner's circle like this guy can. Bob Glidden has won 5 out of 7 races in the Ford from Whitewood, Indiana, the famed Glidden racing family. There's the kind of a dry burnout, Don Garlitz, to test the surface.
Yeah, they do that because in these cars it pays to heat the clutch up just a little bit before it's time to go. Gets them a little better start.
Well, you just saw all of the levers that Bob Glidden will contend with down the quarter mile, shifting that 4-speed transmission. You don't depress the clutch. Once it's out, it stays out. Iaconio in the far lane for General Motors. Glidden for Ford in the near lane. Glidden off the clutch. You saw his left leg move, pulling those gears. But Frank Iaconio right alongside. Glidden has lost. Ignore the fact that he got there first. There is a red light on the